My name's Kevin Ryder. Used to be a driving instructor. Joined Clean Easy because I was good at teaching people how to drive, but I was crap at running a business, and I found myself slipping deeper and deeper into debt. So I joined Clean Easy to earn some extra money, and in my first 4 weeks made £233, excuse me, and I'm now earning over £3,500 every 4 weeks. Did it happen overnight? No, absolutely not. I got to £1,000 a month or £1,200 a month in my first 12 months, and then I leveled off for about 6 years, earning between sort of £900 and £1,200 every 4 weeks. So why did things stand still for me in that 6-year period? Tonight I'm going to cover one of the reasons, but one of the other reasons is, let me just quickly show you. You see all them books there? Every single one of them is a personal development book. I hadn't read any of them for 6 years, but once I started reading those books, instead of just decorating my shelves with them, it actually started to make a massive difference to my life. And as I developed, as I grew as an individual, my business grew, and as my business grew, my income grew. But one of the books, a couple of the books that we're talking about tonight, I have here, if you just bear with me. Sorry about that, guys. Should have been pre-prepared. But I seriously recommend you get hold of these books. The first one is Design Your Best Year Ever by Darren Hardy. Okay. The next one is The Magic of Goal Setting. Okay. And the next one is What Are Your Goals by Gary Ryan Blair. Guys, these books are really, really important, and I'll explain why. So if you just bear with me, I'm just going to share screens with you. So we're looking at goal setting. What you need to think about is, why are you here? Why did you join the business? Okay. What is your vision? What is it that you want to achieve in 2015? Okay. John said, you've got to know why you're doing this. He says he works hard, but you've got to know why you're working hard. What is it that you're doing it for? What do you want to achieve? A lot of people join Clean Easy and think, I just want to make a bit of extra money. But they don't actually get specific and say how much that money is, because they don't actually think about what that money's for. And what you've got to do is decide on what it is you want and why you want it. Because otherwise...
I just wanted to ask you if we had up to go.
Well, that depends. And where? You want to get to...
Oh, it really doesn't matter. As long as I...
Then it really doesn't matter which way you go.
You end up like Alice in Wonderland. It really doesn't matter where you go or what you do, because if you've no destination, you're certain to end up there. You've got to decide where it is you want to go and what it is you want, because otherwise you're just going to wander aimlessly. And we have a saying in this business, and that's, are you a meaningful specific or a wandering generality? Okay? And you've got to think about that. What you've got to do, guys, is brainstorm. And you need to think about these areas of your life and what you want to achieve in them. The first one being your health. Jim Rohn said, most people don't do well because they don't feel well. Okay? So you need to think about your health and what it is that you want to achieve with your health. Okay? Write down on a piece of paper the heading health, and write down all the things under health that you can think of that you want to achieve. Okay. The next thing is your business. Write down the heading business on a piece of paper and brainstorm and write down all the things that you want to achieve within your business. And I don't mean in the next 3 weeks or the next 12 months. I mean everything. Everything you can think of. Think big. Open your mind up to the possibilities and be like a kid on Christmas Eve where everything is possible. And they don't, when they write their list to Santa, they don't think about what they can have, what they can't have. They just write everything down because they believe everything is possible. And you've got to be like that. Just write everything down that you believe is possible under health and business, family and friends. Can you improve your relationships? Are there relationships you want to improve? Are there relationships you want to forget? Are there relationships that you want to rekindle? Okay, are there bridges that you want to build with people? Write down all the things you can think of that you want to achieve with family and friends. What about your emotions and your feelings? Everybody says they want to feel happy, but happiness doesn't come from the possessions you own. It comes from the way you feel inside. It comes from your values, your thoughts, your beliefs. Okay, happiness comes from within, not from without. And how do you want to feel? Do you want to feel negative and miserable and whingy and whiny? Because I know some people are. Or do you want to feel positive and grateful and thankful and excited and exuberant about the future? Write down what you want to feel. Possessions. What do you want to own? What do you want to have? What do you want to experience? Make a list of all these things that you want. And don't be afraid, okay? Don't be afraid to write them down because you don't know how it's going to happen. That's not what's important. The how it's going to happen isn't what's important. The point is you've got to identify what you want to happen before you'll ever find a way how. The what comes before the how. What about your wealth? What about your financial situation? Because just like Jim Rohn says again, until you can look after the little bit you have, nobody's going to give you a lot. Why is it lottery winners end up skint within 3 years? The majority of them, that is. It's not because they didn't have enough money. It's because they don't know how to use the money they have. Okay? You may only think that you've only got a little bit, but if you add up all the money you've had in your lifetime, doesn't it shock you to think that you've got none of it left? And there's a reason for that as well. But you need to learn about that through the books. What about spiritual? Are you a spiritual person? We all have a soul. Are you connected to that soul? Do you believe in soulmates? Okay? Do you believe there's just each person has one or many? Okay? There's lots of people are spiritual in different ways. That doesn't mean religious. But religion could be another form of spirituality. Write down all these headings and then write a list of all the achievements you want to achieve under each heading. So the next thing then is to write your list and to keep writing and writing and writing like a kid in a candy shop till you can't think of anything else that you want. Alright, you must keep writing that list. You don't have to number things, just write everything down. They don't have to be detailed. Alright, if it's a car, a boat, if it's a car, a plane, a house, an island, an ocean, just keep writing down everything you want until you can't think of anything else under all of those headings. Alright, it's important that you do that exercise. Don't keep it in your head, because it's a fact that people who write things down tend to achieve the goals. Even if you write it down and don't look at that list again, which isn't something I recommend, but I've wrote lists in books where I've not gone back and looked at it, and 2-3 years down the road, I've found that book and that page with that list on, and I've ticked everything off. And that's because I wrote it down. If you don't write things down and just let them meander in your head, you forget what it is that you want. There's no hard evidence, there's no hard copy. So you've got to make a hard copy, a real copy, because that's what brings it into reality. If you learn anything about the law of attraction or look up The Secret, it talks about making a hard copy of things, because unless you identify what you want, the universe won't respond. It might sound all arty-farty, but it's true. I've never found anything to prove otherwise. But when I've wrote stuff down, I've achieved it. So I've got to agree with it. Once you've created your list under all those separate headings, you need to then go down that list and put in order what are your 1 year goals or your short-term goals, what are your 1 to 5 year goals, so things that you want to achieve within 1 to 5 years, and what are your 5 to 10 year goals, what do you want to achieve in the next 5 to 10 years. Once you've wrote down next to each item 1, 1, 3, 5, 10, whatever it is that you've wrote down in years next to each item or each subject, you need to then add up all your 1 year goals, you need to add up all your short-term goals, all your mid-term goals, and all your long-term goals. Now, some of you will have loads and loads of short-term goals and hardly any long-term goals. And this will mean that you can't see far enough into the future. You don't really have a big enough dream. Okay? And some of you will have loads and loads of 10-year goals, but very few 1 year goals. And this means that you're too far-sighted. You're looking too far into the future all the time and not looking at things close enough. Okay, things that you can do in the next 12 months or the next 90 days. Okay, and what you need to do is choose 3 from each category, or 1 from each category of each. 1 short term, 1 mid term, and 1 long term from each of the brainstorming categories. See, what we're going to do then is decide which are desires and which are just dreams, pipe dreams. Okay? Because what you desire, you'll work for. And if something's just a dream or a wish, if it's just oh, well, it might happen, it's a possibility, then nothing will ever happen. It won't happen. Okay? So how do we decide which is a desire, what's really going to pull you towards it, compared to what's a whim, what's just a little dream? Okay, not that there's anything wrong with dreams, because some dreams do become reality if you work towards those dreams. But if it's a fantasy, let's say, if it's just a little whim, you're never going to achieve that unless you really, really want it. The way that you're going to decide whether it's a desire or just a whim is by writing a paragraph about each one. So each item or each subject that you've chosen, you then need to sit down and be able to write a paragraph about that item. In that paragraph, you need to really describe it. Okay, so you need to, if it's a car, you need to get really specific in detail. What kind of car? It's what we call chunking down. Alright, so you've got to be able to describe it in real detail. What colour is it? What make is it? What model is it? How is it furnished? What's the upholstery like? What does it smell like? How does it look? When you close your eyes and you visualize your hands on that steering wheel and you're running your hands around the steering wheel, how does it feel? How does it make you feel? And in that paragraph, you need to also write down how you feel, your emotions. Because if while writing that paragraph you cannot get excited about it, or you don't get emotional about it, or it doesn't make you well up, or butterflies in your stomach, or when you shut your eyes and really visualize what you want, do it now. Just close your eyes and visualize what it is that you really desire. I hope you're doing it, because I can't see you. How does it make you feel? Does it send tingles over your body? Is it making you well up inside? Because if you can write about what you really want, then you will get it, I promise you. But if you can't write about it, if you can't feel it, if you can't get emotional for it, then it's not going to happen. Okay? It's the truth, is that. That doesn't mean it's something that's anything wrong. It just means you need to find another reason why. You need to find a different vision. Always start with the end in mind. Get yourselves a goal board. Alright? Some people are very visual and need to see what it is they want. Stick on that board. Get one of these post-it boards from an artist shop or Staples or something. And just put on that board pictures of everything you want. Get magazines, get holidays, get anything you want, cut it out and stick it on that board. Put that board somewhere where you're going to see it on a regular basis, and don't be afraid to move it around the house, because when things get just left in one position, you get familiar with it and your mind switches off to it because it just sees it all the time. But what you're also doing is putting those images into your mind and telling your mind what it is that you want, what it is that you desire. Okay? So always start with the end in mind. Until you know what it is you want, then you can't make a plan in order to achieve it. So you've got to think about what it is you want, and then thinking backwards. So for example, just a quick example, if you want to be gold distributor by June next year, you need a £9,000 turnover. If we work on an average of £300 per distributor, okay, 10 distributors will only give you £3,000. Right? We know people do more than that. I'm just giving you an example. So if 10 people did £3,000, in order to do £9,000, you'd need 30 people in your team. We know that 1 in 3 people actually do something. So if you have 30 people in your team and 1 in 3 actually do something, that's 10 people. That's why you get 10 people, 10 active people will build you a gold business. But to get 10 active people, you need to sponsor 30. So if you need to sponsor 30 people between now and June, work out how many people a month you need to sponsor. But at least if you have that plan, at least if you know what your outcome is, then you can work towards that outcome. And if you had a goal board with 10 circles on it around yourself, you could visualize on that target. Okay, you could even fill those circles in with names in a pencil each time someone joins, and then as they quit, you can rub them out, because yes, people do quit this business. So always start with the end in mind. So why not draw yourself a road on a wall, on a piece of paper, and put it on your wall. Now, please note, this road is going to be up and down. It's going to twist and turn. It's not going to be a straight line, because it's never straight from A to B in order to achieve your goals. But think about what actions you're taking from time to time. Just stop yourself and say, what you are doing right now, is it moving you towards your vision or moving you away from it? So when you draw this road, at the end of the road, write down your vision, write down your dream, what it is that you want to achieve. And then look at what you're doing at that moment in time. If you're retailing, you're right on track. You're heading towards your vision. If you're generating leads, you're right on track. You're heading towards your vision. If you're phoning prospects, you're right on track. You're still heading towards that vision. But if you're watching TV, you're a bit off track. If you're shuffling papers and doing admin and doing unimportant things, you're off track. If you're going to the pub, you're way off track. But if you're showing the business to people, attending events, you're on track. But if you're over planning, how many people sit and say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do the other, and never actually get started? If you're writing plans and drawing plans and paralysis by analysis and over-analysing everything, you're way off track. If you want immediate gratification, you want to spend your money now. That's why people, if you think about what you've earned over your lifetime and why you have very little money now, it's because of immediate gratification. How many people get paid at the end of the month and 3 days in they've spent all the money and have no money left for the rest of the month? Because they go out and spend, I've got my money now, I'll blow it. Okay? Immediate gratification, wanting things before they've actually earned things. Lifestyle before money. So many people get involved in this business and they think that they can take the life off before they've even built a business. This is one of the biggest mistakes that people make. People, I've seen it, I've done it myself. Got to gold distributor, got my income to £1,200 a month, quit my job. And before I knew it, I was back down to 500 quid a month and desperate to find some work. That's why I ended up working part-time at Sainsbury's and building my business part-time, because I tried to have the lifestyle of not working before I'd secured my income. I've done it, and I've seen so many people do it over and over and over again. Make sure you're on track towards your vision. Coaching your team is well on track. All these things on the road are heading you towards the vision. All these things off the road are heading you away from your vision. So decide, what is it you want and how much do you want it? Because these things that are off track tend to be more fun, more enjoyable than the things that are on track. But at the end of the day, do you want your vision bad enough, or would you rather go watch TV, go to the pub, spend all your money, enjoy your lifestyle before you've earned the money, shuffle papers and plan your dreams but never actually achieve them? Because those are the things that happen when you're off track. Okay? So it's important you start now. The worst laid plan started today is better than the best laid plan started to tomorrow. So start now, not tomorrow. Not when the weather's right, not when you're inspired, not when you've got your lover back, not when vacation is over, not when the horoscope is perfect, not when the psychic says so, not when you have the money, not then or then. Sorry, not when there are more people to hear what you have to say. Just start right now, guys. There is no better time to start. So write down on your piece of paper what little step you can take tonight to move you towards your goals tomorrow. Even if it's just writing a to-do list, even if it's just writing down, I will make my goals. Okay? Anything that will start moving you towards what it is that you want. You see, life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. Okay? It's not what you do, but who you become that makes the difference. Thank you very much, guys. I hope that's helped. Good night.